Listen, man. They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, cause anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans.
It's more like this. Don't always be a critic and be so negative. Let's be positive.
How happy are you with your performance tonight?
Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck. If you want to know what it feels like to get your ass kicked by a guy who weighs 40 pounds less than you, meet me in the octagon.
60-40, get your ass kicked. 60-40, I kick your ass.
60-40.
Why kick?
To fight, you gotta be prepared to lose your nuts.
And what's good, man? Welcome to the latest edition of Two to the Body. I'm one half of your host, One Way Renzo, always with none other than Money Mark. What's good, Money Mark?
What up, man? What up? Chilling.
Right, man. You chilling?
Chilling.
How you been?
Chilling.
How you been since last we spoke, man?
All right, you know.
You see anybody get beat up lately?
No. Were you leading me to something? Because I'm not aware of anybody getting beat up.
No, I haven't seen anybody get beat up lately either, unless we're talking about Eddie Alvarez, but that's a podcast for another day.
Oh, really? Oh, you know. I mean, we already discussed that in the previous episode. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we don't need to throw more salt on that man's wounds right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, every now and then you get beat up. People get beat up, man. You got beat up before.
The wound came with the bag though, so it's a lot better getting beat up for a bag than not getting beat up. And well, yeah, just he showed up, he got paid, man. So I wonder what the other guy got paid. That's not something
Nasty Yukin.
I ever thought about. Yeah, Nasty Yukin. Yeah,
Or
I wonder what he got paid.
Or Shinryu Yukin.
But yeah, man, that's podcast for another day. But one thing that we didn't discuss on the previous podcast that we wanted to get to but didn't get to was this upcoming Woodley fight. For a while there, we were wondering, who was gonna fight Woodley. How was he gonna get back in the game? And quite interestingly enough, man, Robbie Lawler is that guy, man. So, wow. I'm shocked by the Robbie Lawler Woodley announcement. You?
I think it's bullshit. Me personally.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I mean, I think it's just.
Tell
I think it's really just another. Like you can just tell that they're not trying to position him to quickly go back to the title. It's like, why would he fight Robbie Lawler again? Like it doesn't really put him. I guess if you think of all right. I just thought about it for a second. I mean, he's number
exactly,
2.
Right.
Yeah, he is number 2. So, who is it else he's going to fight? At least give him a warm-up fight for the title. But I just feel like they're just trying. I don't know. Maybe I'm sensitive. I just think that they're going to try to screw Woodley.
Well, I'll say this. The first thing I'll say is there is no one really for Woodley to fight because
he beat everybody.
He's defending champ that beat everybody except for Kamardine Usman. Essentially. So this is like for a while when Dominic Cruz was looking for a fight, he beat everybody already. And then but the other thing that I'll say is that he really had to accept the first available fight because at the UFC is all about activity. He's not going to be able to usurp Kamardine and get that Kobe Covington fight, which the Kobe Covington Kamardine Usman fight is a fight they pretending like we want it. Like it's a fight that they're pretending.
Yeah, we didn't ask for that.
That we're clamoring for. Like we
didn't ask for that at all,
bruh.
It's kind of like
we were more interested in that fight when he was talking to Woodley.
You know, the funny thing about it is that the way they're doing it is kind of like when your girl like does something that she thinks is cool, and it's like, oh yeah, you like this, right? And you're like, nah, no, I don't. No, I don't actually. I never asked for that actually.
That's when you hit him with that. Oh, that's what y'all do?
No, okay. No, that's cool.
Man.
You
But
like it,
yeah,
right? No, I no.
yeah, actively they're actively trying to sell us that fight. Like they're
Yeah,
telling us that's the money fight. Nah, that's not it.
we didn't buy we didn't
Yeah,
buy that at
that's not
all.
it. So that was one of the worst things that happened as far as the result of that fight right there.
Yeah,
But
Kamardine.
yeah, he had to accept the first available fight. Obviously, he's not gonna fight Ben Askren. Ben Askren has made it clear that he wasn't gonna rematch the homie
Robbie
Robbie Lawler or
Lawler.
whatnot. So Robbie Lawler is ready to be active. He got something to prove from the last fight he just had. So hey, step up. I mean, you've beaten Wonder Boy twice already. He's coming off a loss, so there's no need to fight him. You beat Darren Till already. He's coming off a loss. No need to fight him. I mean, you're not gonna throw him to Masvidal right now.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really have.
You gotta ride that Masvidal wave because that
Yeah,
man
because
has a
you know,
personality.
yeah, he can sell a fight and he's rolling up on people backstage and giving them three pieces and
Let me
calling them,
let me
you
let me
know,
reveal. Let me
coming up with cool
reveal.
catchphrases
Let me
after he does
reveal
it.
some of myself about my relationship to George Masvidal as a fighter. To this day, it it took me until after the Darren Till fight to realize that that was that guy in those Kimbo videos.
Yeah, I had no idea actually.
And you know what I'm saying? And I have seen those videos several
We all have.
times. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while. So when I saw that the man's nickname was Game Bread, I got even more respect for him because this man was really a street fighter. He's really game bread. Like, shout out to him. And for a while, I mean, I know he was off the scene because we've talked about him in a previous podcast, and you let me know that he had a loss to such and such or whatnot. And I know I've gotten to know him via social media, and not that I follow him on social media, but I follow. Shout out to MMA World, who follows everybody from MMA on social media, so I don't have to. And I got to see that he had a personality then, and then he knocked out a guy, a British guy that I didn't like. So I mean, I started rocking with him, and yeah, he's definitely he's got a personality, and he'll put those hands on you inside the cage or outside the cage.
Yeah, he put them hands on him.
So don't give him to Woodley yet because you don't want Woodley to make that money, and you can make bigger money with Masvidal somewhere else.
Yeah, and we all know that Willie's gonna beat the living shit out of him.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing
The
about Masvidal.
living.
He'll try to fight through it.
He will. Kind of like
Oh, bro. Speaking of which, we buried the lead. I need to eat crow, as they say. Barboza got slumped by Justin Gagey.
oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he did. Oh, you thought Barboza was gonna be Justin Gagey?
Yes, I thought Barboza was gonna beat Justin Gagey. You know why I thought Barboza was gonna beat Justin Gagey?
Hmm.
Because the only people I thought that could beat someone like Barboza was people that could wrestle. Like Kevin Lee had to wrestle him. Everyone else usually wrestles him. I didn't know someone was gonna just decide, you know what? Maybe he can just catch these hands.
Yeah,
Maybe all these Anderson Silva kicks look cool when you're fighting the computer, but yeah, I got my sliders turned up. I'm Justin Gagey. But shout out
well,
to Justin Gagey for winning. I didn't mean to bury the lead there, but I did shit on the man and say that he was probably going to get schlepped by this guy, and
well,
he actually
well, no,
slept the guy.
he was supposed to lose that fight. If you go based upon what's on paper, like. But one thing I knew about Barbosa is that Barbosa is very good. He's very talented, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he can win fights.
Well, obviously not now. I mean, he's basically, to me, I'm gonna put Barboza up there with Adrian Broner. And no disrespect to Adrian Broner, and no disrespect to Barboza, but like you're just gonna lose the big fights. And because like I put Barboza on a certain level in that division because of the close fight he had with Kevin Lee and the close fights he's had with a lot of these other guys. So I didn't expect someone like I guess I underrated Justin Gagey basically.
Maybe so.
Maybe I not underrated. Maybe I underestimated Justin Gagey and the will of a champion in this unforgiving sport. So,
Maybe so, but I mean, at the same time, still Barebones was still supposed to be him. He just you're right. He just can't beat in the moment. He just can't win.
yeah, man, and that's unfortunate, man, because I think the guy has really cool kicks, but
Yeah,
really cool kicks don't really translate to wins, and we'll
yeah.
see
Not
one day if
not
really
if
cool
someone's just
kicks
gonna
from
step through it and punch you in the face.
yeah, we'll see if really cool kicks keep out of Israel out of Asanye in the fight against John Jones.
If that fight ever happens. If that fight ever happens. But yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, but back to Woodley and Lawler, I just don't see the purpose of it. I mean, I see the purpose of it, but I mean, it's not a fight I want to see. I don't really want to see that again. I want to see Woodley versus Kamaru again, or I want to see, what do I want to see? I want to see Kamaru. I mean,
Well,
against.
the reason why we don't see Kamar Dean versus Woodley again, especially immediately, is because we don't want to just give that belt back to Woodley.
Well, do you think that Woodley would just easily beat him on the
I
second
don't,
go around?
I don't think he would easily beat him, but I'm thinking marketing wise and um, for the company, the UFC as a company, the middleweight division is stagnant when Woodley is a champion, and that's because he doesn't have a good relationship with Dana White. Like if Dana White has a good relationship with you and you're champion, then
Sky's
hell,
the limit.
he will move
Sky's the
he will
limit, and you
move a
know we
production
can
from Nevada to California for you.
keep on shining on.
But if
Sky's the limit.
and when I say good relationship, if you can't make him money for real, then I mean, what good are you? Um,
I think he can make him money, but
he can't make him money for real unless Woodley fights the way that the brother wanted the black dude to fight and get out. Unless Tyron Woodley fights the way Dana White himself wants him to fight, like a straight monster, and just release that right hand without backing up, run forward and release that right hand type stuff. Basically, he wants Tyron Woodley to fight like Robbie Lawler spent the entire fight on on the feet
Ben Askren.
with Ben Askren, like really trying to rip somebody's head off.
Yeah, but you get beat like that. Robbie Lawler's gotten beat
Yeah,
several times like that.
yeah. Because Robbie Lawler knows the longer the fight goes, the more likely it is he's not gonna win. At this point in his career. There was a point in his career where Robbie Lawler was that guy.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Those
no,
2 seconds are up.
well, two wins and then a title shot, and then I mean it takes three fights to lose that belt for real. Two fights to get it, one fight to lose it. You know,
Yeah, whatever.
but
Robbie Lawler
yeah,
was. I always felt Robbie Lawler was suspect.
well, yeah, I don't like the way he looks.
You don't like the way he
I don't
looks.
like the way he looks, man. He reminds me of BJ Penn, and I don't like BJ Penn.
Why don't you like BJ Penn?
Oh man, just something about him just makes me want to slump him like Cody Garbrandt. I don't know.
Has Cody Garbrandt slumped BJ Penn?
No, I'm saying I'll slump Cody Garbrandt and I'll slump BJ Penn.
Mm. Okay, so we have more delusion. Okay, cool. I didn't know that's what we're doing right now. Who
Okay,
else
I'm
will you
sorry,
slump?
man. That was just that was the
No,
copper.
no, 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 no,
The
no, 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 no. Continue. Who
the
else will you slump?
I mean I'll smoke Cody Garbrandt. I'll smoke
Okay.
BJ Penn. You know what I'm saying?
Might as well throw Anderson Silva in there.
I'll
Yeah,
smoke.
Anderson Silva. Rich
I got
Franklin, maybe
I
Ken
got.
Shamrock, Steve Blackman, maybe
As a matter of fact, not only will I make Ken Shamrock submit in the octagon, I'll do it via the sharpshooter.
Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle, I put him in
What
all
about
kind of
Megatron?
stuff.
You gonna slump Megatron
Megatron,
too? You gonna slump
I
Megatron too?
I slump Megatron the whoever you talking about, and Megatron the football player.
Mm, okay,
So this is the
that's
this is a copper bomber talking right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like a play
mm-hmm.
on the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. So I
Yeah,
do anything.
because you've never placed in anything. So
Nah, man.
yeah,
That's because it's only one place to win, baby.
Where's that?
First,
First, where? Uh,
ain't
I'm
no, ain't no,
confused.
ain't no winners when you slumping the victims, son.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, man. We all lose.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
man.
right.
Yeah.
Church,
But I'm
church.
done. But I'm done.
Oh, you done? Oh, okay, cool. So we can continue then. That's what you're saying.
We can continue. I won't
Oh,
slump
okay,
BJ
cool,
Penn.
cool. No,
For the sake of this podcast, I will not slump anyone that I just named today.
because and and that's because you always could, right?
Hey,
Is that what you're trying to say?
look, man, anybody can get slumped and slept. It's where you slump and sleep them.
Yeah, everyone can. I just don't think that you specifically can
Hey,
do
man,
that.
with a running start, if BJ Penn is staying right there,
And not
I
like do
think I can
anything.
register. I think I can register 929 on that punch bag on his head.
Mm, okay, that's cool. So moving on. Um, just in case you won, we don't necessarily feel it's necessary to have Tyron Woodley fight. What's his name? We think it's necessary, but we don't like it.
Yeah, he's got to take the fight.
Yeah, because I mean, if he doesn't take the fight, I think that was bait too. Like they threw it out there to see if he's gonna take it.
Yeah, like well, you was champion, you got to deny all this, but now you got to eat all this right here. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact, we're gonna give you Ben Askren's scrappings.
yeah, that is interesting because he was very adamant that he wanted him to redo the that fight, but Ben Askren to redo that fight. It's really interesting that
Well,
he
it didn't make
decided to say,
sense. Didn't make sense money wise with the company. The company needs to go in another direction with that.
"Why didn't it make sense money wise?"
Ben Askren versus Robert Lawler too,
Yeah,
bro. Man, you can put that on a better card. Don't waste that. I mean, you put something better than that on the card. Don't do that. Like now you got the Masvidal situation. You got other middleweight situations or welterweight situations. I mean, the possibilities are endless.
mm. Well, we'll see what happens.
What if Ben Askren gets that title shot before Woodley?
He might. He might. That's how
Is
much
Woodley going? Is
they
Woodley
don't
going?
like Woodley. Like we'll give it to the guy we like, not as much we dislike, not as much as we dislike you.
Yeah, we give it to your homie.
You cuz
But they'll never fight each other though. So what's the point?
never.
What's the
I
point?
love Ben Askren wants to ultimately test himself against Woodley
What's the?
and prove he's the best.
I tell you what, man. They might not be the best division overall, but welterweight UFC definitely got the best soap opera.
Oh, because of Dana and Tyron
Dana and
and
Tyron, maybe Dana and Ben Askren, maybe uh, it's so much other stuff.
you're right. And you also
Yeah.
have your boy, yeah, what's his name? Colby Queefington, is it? What do you call him?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Kobe Queefington, which is a very lame nickname. And you know what?
Listen. We knew Woodley didn't have any sauce. We've known Woodley doesn't have sauce
Well, when
for
you
a long
rap like
time
that,
now.
man, you gotta have sauce though.
I'll beat
Like,
your ass.
did Lil Jon not have sauce?
Yeah,
You
in
know what?
2004.
In
Yes, he did.
hindsight, you know what that song was missing?
But
Two verses from one from Diamond and one for Princess.
also, you're commenting on the fact that he basically just took, um,
Crime Mob.
yeah, that's
Hey man,
unfortunate. It's unfortunate that's the reason why he lost too. Was it?
Because he can't. Man, he lost because he was shook when he came out there. Man, he lost from the opening. He lost from the walkout.
why you say that?
Go back.
He
This is
auditioned
one
it.
thing. This is one thing I always do. I make sure I pay attention to these guys from start to finish. Go back and look at the walkouts from the fight. Look at Tyron Woodley's eyes, and look at Kamar Dean Usman's eyes. Woodley was already defeated. Like his mind was elsewhere already. Like he was already having like how he described it. Like
The
when he was
nightmare.
getting beat, he was having it was a nightmare. It was like an out of body experience, but he was there. You could tell he was living it right then already because he wasn't feeling right.
Well, I just wasn't feeling the lyrics.
Well, maybe the lyrics got his ass whooped, man. Maybe.
They might have. Maybe hip hop decided no. You know how Ludacris did it for hip hop. Maybe hip hop did it for us because we don't want to hear that shit.
Yo, man, shout out to hip hop today. Hip hop got a new artist today. Well, this past weekend, I'm sure you've heard of it already. Lil Nas X was taking off the country charts. I think we're gonna take Lil Nas X.
Are you talking about the guy that made the country song and then country was like, nah.
Nah, bro, we straight.
Like we like Nelly Black. We just don't like that Black.
We don't like this black parody you're doing.
Maybe he had too much bass. Maybe that's what it was. It was just too much bass.
Someone said that he said he too many 808s.
Too many 808s. You know what I'm saying? You know, people start Millie rocking in the country club. They're like, nah, we ain't doing this. We're not gonna Millie rock on any block.
On the Old Town Road, especially. Oh,
When's
but go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you, when is the last time did you Millie rock on it and on every block?
The last time that I Millie rocked on every block.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was outside of college and considering myself a grown ass man when Millie Rock got popular again.
Yeah.
Hit the world stage again, so I don't think I Millie Rock one or two times.
Oh, okay, so you did Millie rock. But what block were you on when you did it?
Any?
How many blocks?
Any block.
I think you're lying.
Oh, I mean, I Millie rocked on any block. All right, now, this is what I just did, man. I just looked up a Woodley versus Usman fight on YouTube, and I looked at Woodley's eyes, and I'm going to another video to look at his eyes versus someone else. Who would he have complete confidence against? Damian Maya. That's
Till.
one.
I think he was very confident that he was gonna beat Till.
Let's see. Well, I'm going with what we have on YouTube. Maybe it did offer us Till.
I think he knew he was gonna beat Till.
Oh, man. The world offers us Till. Yeah, absolutely. That's a different kind of look in his eyes, man.
So what's the look he
Yeah.
had in his eyes when he fought?
Well, with Till,
Commodity.
you can see it was like complete confidence or whatnot. Like, here's just another guy in front of me. With Kamar Dean Usman, it was bewilderment, maybe. Maybe he was a little overwhelmed.
It was a late notice fight. I think he'd be more overwhelmed against Colby because he's been wanting that. So maybe that was gonna be his last fight before he moved up and snatched the middleweight belt.
Before him and Yoel Romero had one of the best fights of all time.
Well, to be honest with you, let's just say, Woodley wasn't gonna be Adesanya. I don't think.
Well, nah, because
Let's see.
Adesanya fights too smart for him.
Yeah, and he's just gonna stay on the outside and just pick him apart.
Like, that's crazy because, like, I would never want to see Israel fight Woodley. That's like, I wouldn't want to see Israel fight fight Darren Till. Like, I think he'll slump Darren Till, and he doesn't like. He's not necessarily uh, a knockout striker. He is a volume striker.
Well, I think Darren Till will welcome that because Darren Till can do Darren Till in that type of fight. Like he can just be Darren Till in that fight.
He could be Darren Till in the last fight he got slumped.
I heard he was doing good in the first round. I didn't
Heard,
see that fight.
bro, he was doing amazing. He was doing an amazing job of doing exactly what he studied for. And there's that one thing that fighters do. And they went back to it and they talk about it. And I watched like I said, go through these interviews after the fights to see what these fighters are saying and see what the trainers are saying. This man had been fighting for so long that he switched southpaw in that fight, right? Darren Till had never seen him switch southpaw, which means, and what he implied was Darren Till was only watching tape from me fighting in the UFC. I drew back on something that I've done a long time ago, fighting someone similar to Darren Till to be able to land that punch.
Mm,
So, yeah,
well,
I like stuff like that. But Darren Till would be able to be Darren Till against Israel Adesanya, and he wouldn't walk out of there alive. I mean, he'll probably walk out of there alive, but, shout out to Darren Till in the future because I believe that as much as I give him shit, I believe that he'll end his career like more like a Michael Bisping than anything else. I think that he'll end up like in his older age becoming one of those like, oh shit, like this dude back for real. He whooping these young dudes' asses.
mm,
Yeah,
maybe so.
I
That
hope
kind of
so
makes
anyway,
sense.
man. Maybe I'm just saying it because he's a Brit, man.
He's a Brit.
He's a Brit.
British people don't fare well.
Hey, man, shout out to the Brits, man. Shout out to
And
the
the
Anthony
UFC,
Joshua's of the world, man.
I realized I just left it at that. I didn't say like, so it kind of sounded like I was just saying British people just don't fare well. Period. In the
Yeah.
UFC, British fighters don't really fare well.
Well, I mean, well,
Paul Dale,
I
and Paul,
mean,
and Paul Dale got beat by Josh Koscheck. It's not like he got beat by like
yeah,
some
because you name dropped Josh Kochick on the previous episode, and I was surprised that someone would say his name, but then you go back to the era. Yep,
No,
he
Josh
had the
Koscheck was
build.
a big deal then, but he was a big deal. I mean, you have to think about it like this. Josh Koscheck was a big deal until he fought GSP, and then GSP, like said, showed him like, nah, not for real, not for real.
Okay.
Oh, you were talking about him? Oh no, not for real. Hold on, let me show you something real quick. Man, that's what he hit him with.
Yeah, I got this here.
Oh, you be wrestling. You be wrestling.
Why you want to do that?
Oh, you be doing. And I think Josh Koscheck was actually talking smack to
To Paul
GSP.
Daly.
No, he
He
was
was
talking smack
talking.
to GSP. And GSP, that's when GSP, he didn't take him down. He just dotted his eye the whole time. You remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Dog, you gotta actually
Not
go
a,
back and watch that
I
fight.
wasn't a big fan of GSP.
Really? GSP was
Yeah.
amazing. GSP was amazing. Like there's a point where GSP, I think it was after Koscheck, where he realized, or was it I forgot which fight, when he realized that he was a better, he was, he got to the point where he was better at wrestling than everybody, and that's all he did. But there was a point before then when he was, still doing his point karate techniques, his Kyokushin karate techniques, and he was
My man, this is the whole fight.
who
It's a whole 45 minutes right here.
with him and Koscheck.
Yeah, this is him and Kashi
Oh,
part two.
oh, dude, no, he just punches, like he just jabs him the entire time. It's
This
really
is part
rough.
two or part one?
I think it's part two. Like he just jabs him the entire, because I think he wanted, because I think Koscheck was talking shit, and I think he wanted to make a point that he can touch him whenever he wanted to. So the entire fight, he just jabbed him. Like it
Crazy how
was,
the eras have changed because you rarely see these surfboard shorts. I guess these swim trunks any longer.
Yeah, you don't see them no longer. Everyone's wearing like the tight joints to the body, and they making sure that their six pack is on point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got our six pack on point. Make sure we got the little V cut, so when we wear the little spandex joints, we look,
Like a fighter.
yeah. So you're not getting that Justin. What's buddy's name? Go home, big titty. I forgot his name.
Oh man, and Curtis Blaze and Justin Willis.
Yeah, you're not getting that Justin Willis treatment. I couldn't lose and someone called me big titty. I'm gonna have to kill his whole family.
He gonna kill the whole family.
You gotta call the homies and let them know, like, hey, cuz he got me. Let him know he can't mess. Let him know he can't mess with Third Street. Let him know he can't mess with Third Street.
So my man just gonna pop him with this left jab the whole time.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's the entire time. He just jabs him the entire time. He doesn't try to take him down. I think he might try to take him down once or twice, but the entire time, like, it's really gruesome. It's because it's like, it was really like GSP was like, it was almost like the Nick Diaz thing where it's like, you think I'm afraid of Nick Diaz? And with Nick Diaz, he just took him down the entire time. He just took him down whenever he wanted to. Like, are you kidding me, man? Are you crazy in the head, man? You think I'm scared of Nick Diaz?
Wow.
Yeah, dog. You don't remember that? You don't remember that?
I mean, there's a lot of GSP that I missed because I just wasn't a fan of GSP, man. That's just a confession that I have.
GSP was amazing. GSP, there's a reason why people like GSP because he was just so much better than everybody. Like, I think GSP is the first. I think GSP is the prototype of the mixed martial artist. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why, even though everyone is openly willing, even
I'll say this.
Even GSP, I think, is willing to admit that Tyrant may have had a better resume than he is. I think.
Well, it's the LeBron James, Michael Jordan argument. You know what I'm saying? One had great impact. One may be better skilled at. Physically.
Well, no. This is the reason why it's not. It's because the era, like, you can make an argument that the era was way better. It's way better in Woodley's. Damn, it is 40 minutes. Yeah, he has the blue trunks. Yep, he has the blue trunks on. Yeah, you can make an argument that Tyron's era is just way better.
Well, you can argue that the NBA is filled with more you can look at the centers and the point guards. Look at how they've changed over the years, and I'm talking about complexion and everything to see that the game has changed. And what I'm saying as far as the LeBron James, Mike Jordan comparison is that GSP definitely ushered in a new style of fighter, like Jordan ushered in a new style of play. Without Jordan, there is no Kobe because Kobe carbon copied his game. Without GSP, you don't really get these, I'm just going to wrestle you forever. Like the Matt Hughes era and stuff like that. That was boring.
No, you can't. No. GSP is the first fighter that combined all tactics together smoothly. That's what GSP's legacy is. If you want to talk about what I'm saying is that he like, the takedowns became a part of his game later on as he fought. Before, he was mostly a striker.
Like Jordan jump shooting?
Yeah, basically.
That's what I'm saying.
So, calling him. Yeah, but you're saying more so that it's like, I can just wrestle you. That's not what GSP did.
No, that's not, bro. That's far from what I'm saying.
Okay,
I'm saying he changed an era. Like Jordan ushered in a new era of basketball, a new era of basketball player. GSP really shined in an era where all these guys just looked like
he tapped Rumble?
They were just gonna wrestle.
I didn't know Kostrick beat Rumble.
Oh man, that's when Rumble was
beat the brakes out of Rumble. It looks like
he was almost dead in there. The man had no water weight on his body.
Yeah, he beat that. He beat his ass though.
It's like Rumble is an example as to why T.J. Dillashaw shouldn't have went down to take that fight.
Why is that?
Because you lose a certain amount of weight, man, and you just can't perform.
That's
Same
true.
thing happened with what's his name? We just said his name, Till.
Maybe so.
Weight cuts will get you, bro.
But yeah, GSP came in there and beat that man's ass.
That's crazy, man. I'm finna watch Koscheck choke out Rumble Johnson at a weight of what? 170?
Mm-hmm.
And this man is walking around at 240 right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lose some weight, learn how to code, bro.
Tell all
Learn
the
how
kids to
to.
learn how to code.
Well, I think that's at the appropriate age when you can tell some kids, tell people to learn how to code. They learn how to code. To tell a coal miner in his 40s to learn how to code. Well, I guess they could learn how to code. I guess.
Yeah.
Are you still watching the GSP Kostick fight?
Nah, man. I've gone from that jab to the face because I see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
He didn't make him quit.
No, he just gets beat up the entire time.
That's
Like
what
I
I'm
think,
saying.
well,
When I saw that it was a
GSP,
44-minute video, I knew the outcome.
well, GSP essentially, because of the trash talk, he wanted to make sure Kostick knew that he was way better than him. Like I think that it lasted 44 minutes because GSP just really just wanted to dot his I the entire time. I'm so serious. Like that's pretty much what it
Wow.
is. He go for a takedown every now and then, back up, dot your I. That's it. There's literally like this. The Koscheck GSP2 is really one of GSP's like showcases of like, listen, none of you are any like GSP was better than everybody like remotely in that division. Even when he lost to Hughes, like he was better than Hughes. He was better than Hughes then. He was probably better than Hughes as soon as he walked in. He just didn't know he was better than Hughes. GSP, I think the GSP is the first dude that was worlds better than everybody else in his division. Like it was the first time we've seen anything like that because at the time, GSP is the first person that like could like that walked out and just had an undefeated, you know what I'm saying, was undefeated and just like didn't lose. Like you see John Jones, right? Like and you see Anderson in that ring they had. I think GSP is the first person that kind of like, well, no, Anderson and GSP kind of had it because I remember they at the same time because I remember they wanted GSP to fight Anderson and GSP didn't want to move up, and I think that's the reason. That's why he gets the knock of not moving up because they wanted GSP to fight Anderson, and GSP was kind of like, that sounds stupid
Wow.
because it did sound stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You ain't gotta do that. You gotta move up. And if I wanted probably one of the greatest fighters ever, in argument to him, I would do that. I would listen. I would have thought about it. I would have thought about it. That's definitely not just a quick hell yeah. I was like, let's think about this.
Let's reconsider our options.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Like, someone will move up and fight a dude heavier who's just as quick and just as athletic and just as precise as I am as a striker?
Nah, we don't want to go that route.
Because the reason why GSP was such a problem is that everybody else was either wrestlers or strikers, and GSP can do both. He learned how to do both, and he's been striking since he was young. So you couldn't really like shit. GSP didn't see everything, so you can't really point strike with him. I mean, this dude's over here doing. I think he was doing Kyokushin karate. I think he was doing. GSP was doing
He was doing what?
Kyokushin. Kyokushin. I think he
Okay,
was a.
man.
I
I ain't
think
gonna
he's a
tell you what I
Kyokushin
thought you
karate.
said. I was like, what kind of fucking karate is?
What you thought I said?
I thought you said Christian karate. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
what does he
Christian
turn
karate.
the other cheek?
Nah, what he does is that he puts on American flag pants. He puts on American flag pants, and then he grows a mullet, like the mullet, the Zach mullet I was talking about in the last episode. He grows a mullet, you know what I'm saying? And then he wears like a small cross, and then he goes and teaches them. at-risk kids at the youth center how to use karate, and then they use karate to stop the local gang from taking over the neighborhood. And eventually, the gang leader tries to come stop him, and then he then beats the gang leader with the power of friendship and love. And then the gang leader gets beat up, but instead of retaliating with true gang force, he just leaves, and the neighborhood is sunny and happy again.
Well, damn. Well, damn.
That's Christian karate in a nutshell.
I don't think that would be on Shaq Fu, would it?
No, it wouldn't be on Shaq Fu. I want to know. I would like to see video of. Ooh, they stood him up. That's crazy. Refereeing has gotten completely different. No, that was the end of the round. I was about to say, I thought they stood them up prematurely, and I was about to say refereeing has got different now. You know what? You know what I'm happy about. The one thing I am happy about the whole Reebok deal in the UFC,
What is that?
the fact that I never have to see an Affliction shirt again in life.
What if I told you I saw one today?
Or if you saw an Affliction shirt today, then you're in the wrong place. Like wherever you were at, don't ever go back there again. Don't ever go back there again. You have no business being wherever you were at where you saw an Affliction shirt.
What if I tell you I saw an Affliction shirt today, and I was like, well, damn, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Okay. Well, where were you?
It's out and about, bro.
Oh, well, you can't speak on it. Well, okay, cool. Well, that's your business, and you probably, whatever. Don't ever go back there again. Like, whatever it is that brought you there, find it somewhere else.
No, man.
Find it somewhere else. Find it somewhere else. Find it somewhere else.
I wasn't
Find it somewhere. Find it somewhere else. Find it somewhere
Find it
else.
somewhere else, man. Okay.
Yeah. you can Amazon whatever it is that you were looking for. If that was us, just find it somewhere else.
So
In fact,
just
don't let me catch you. Don't let me catch you in that vicinity ever again. Find it somewhere else.
sound like you
Affliction
hate
shirts.
me, man.
What was the like urban appearance to it, right? Because I remember there was like the Affliction shirts and the MMA shirts, and then there was a clothing line that pretty much tried to do the same thing. It was like black something. It was kind of around the time where 50 had his little clothing line, and you know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about. I just can't remember the name of the clothing line. Was it Black Label? Was it Black Label?
I'm not
Hold
sure.
on, let me Google Black Label.
Yeah, I can't be certain that
I
I
know
know
there's
what
a
you're talking
purple. I know there's a. I know there is a Black Label, a Ralph Lauren Black Label, but I don't think there's a.
There's also a purple label Ralph Lauren too, isn't there?
Yeah.
I don't know,
What?
man. I'm not familiar with anything other than Gino Green.
Gino Green.
Yeah, Gino Green, Carl Kanai, those guys,
Oh yeah, that was a southern audience definitely appreciated Gina Green more than I did. I mean, it was everywhere, but I feel that the southern. I mean, when I was in Alabama on Alabama A&M's in the mean streets of Norman Hills, I saw a lot of Gino Green at one point in time, and I didn't really see too much Gino Green when I was out in when I was out in the mean streets of Illinois, the mean streets of Peeville. You know what I'm saying? Didn't see a lot of that. I saw some Abercrombie and Fitch. Oh shit, Abercrombie and Fitch. Anyways,
New Kids on the Block got a bunch of hits like them, though.
oh yeah, Chinese food makes me sick.
For the summer. We'll just skip to that part.
I like girls who wear Abercrombie and Fitch.
What would you do?
Had her if I had one wish.
How many wish?
One wish. But she was just mine for that summer. That summer. I think sometimes we have to have one of these days in this conversation, whenever maybe we just have a straight music podcast. episode, we have to discuss the buffoonery that we allowed to exist
Was it
in our
buffoonery?
age. Yes, it was because this is the thing, right? A lot of people our age are coming at some of these young guys like the Lil Uzi Verts and the young cats for the silly shit they were doing. But we act like we didn't have Chumbawamba. We act like we had some bullshit like Fatty Girl. Like go back and listen to Fatty Girl. That song is Trinidad.
Okay, I'll say it this way then. Maybe we didn't have all that technology, and we're just disappointed at them for not taking advantage of all this cool technology. Yeah, but
Oh
you're
yeah,
totally right. I'm grasping at straws here. We
I'm
are
just saying. I'm just saying. Fatty Girl's a terrible song. Fatty Girl's a terrible song.
who me?
She got a fatty girl, fatty girl. Um,
Who me?
most Benzino songs are pretty bad, even though I like them. So it is what it is. Um, let's think about it. I mean, we could just go over. We could just go through it and just think about some of the songs that we listened to that we swore were cold and they were terrible.
It's a
They just
bunch
don't
of them
stand the
out there though.
test of time.
There's a bunch that doesn't stand the test of time.
Hmm. Well, now that we're on the subject of music, so I think we've kind of concluded, guys,
Yes,
that we don't like the Robbie Lawler thing, but we know what the
we
UFC is trying to
accept it.
do, and we know that Willie in probably 2 or 3 years will be in ONE FC beating the hell out of
An
you
Asian
know,
dude
yeah, it's probably some Asian dude. Even
or a
though
Russian dude.
I do hope he gets Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, because the one thing I would love to see more than Willie dominate is a truly Chinese or a truly Japanese champion beat the mess out of somebody and then transition to UFC and beat the mess out of somebody in UFC. Because I feel that some of these guys are just a little too cocky. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, moving forward. So your boy Errol Spence, we already talked about it like 2 podcasts ago. Beat Mikey Garcia. What is next for your boy Errol?
What is next for my boy Earl? Well,
What do you think he should do? I think I heard talks about Pacquiao.
yeah, that's done. That's done. Those we've moved on for that.
While we moved on from that, explain it
Well,
to me. I'm a
we moved
boxing
on.
novice.
We moved on from that because Pacquiao released a video. Um,
He didn't say the N word, did he?
not a video, not a video. He released a poll to his fans of having his fans choose which person they'd like to see him fight next. And this was released from his official Twitter account. Errol Spence's name was not on the list. He has no
No.
intentions of fighting Errol Spence Jr.
So who's on the list?
Um, what was it? Mayweather, um, and a couple of other guys that aren't important. I think Keith Thurman was on the list. Sean Porter was on the list.
Mm,
Yeah,
Sean Porter.
yeah. But that could be
Sean
a likely fight
Porter.
for
Is
Errol
Sean Porter
Spence.
fighting Canelo? Who's fighting Canelo
No,
again?
no. Canelo is gonna be fighting Daniel Jacobs.
Daniel Jacobs. I
Uh,
always forget. I always, for some
Dane.
reason, forget about Daniel Jacobs.
But
Old proper ass, nice
I'm
suit wearing ass Daniel Jacobs.
I'm glad you mentioned Canelo though, and in reference to Errol Spence Jr. That's the fight that a lot of people think will be made one day.
What? Canelo Errol Spence?
Yes, because he beat up the best Mexican fighter other than um,
Canelo.
Canelo right now, which is Mikey Garcia. So a lot of the Mexican fan base are saying try that shit with Canelo. So hopefully the Cinnamon Man comes and um, redeems his country, I guess.
The Cinnamon Man?
Yeah, that's what Canelo just means cinnamon in Spanish. His name is Saul Alvarez. They just call him Cinnamon because his hair is red.
Mm.
Yeah,
Saul, huh?
yeah, Saul. Canelo Alvarez fighting. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna go there. It just makes two sports.
You sure did. You
Yeah,
sound a little loopy. You right?
yeah, I'm straight. But what else do we have? Um, but that's possible for Errol Spence. There are also talks that Errol Spence could fight Terrence Crawford, which I would like to see that, but I'd like to see anything. I'd just like to see these guys be active. I really can't tell you that I care who they fight for real. Just expose yourself to more people if you can.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
we need to get more fights on ESPN though. If ESPN is going to be a thing, which I believe the ESPN is bad for boxing.
The ESPN may be bad for UFC.
Well, it could
Because
be because
so I mean we can talk about this. So UFC just made the decision to essentially now all the major like pay-per-views have to be essentially done on
ESPN Plus.
ESPN Plus, which is now might be a situation where it seems like it's almost like a situation where the UFC essentially is working for ESPN.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, I think the UFC, as far as combat is concerned, what they were trying to do and what Fox was allowing to do, Fox was allowing them to be bigger than they were a lot. Fox was allowing UFC to be the ESPN of mixed martial arts, of combat sports outside of boxing, and even in boxing, they were creating a platform for. I think it was like Roy Jones had his own little boxing situation going on, boxing promotion. They're playing Roy Jones fights.
I'm not sure if it was playing Roy Jones fights at all.
They had a partnership with Roy Jones. I remember it was something because they were naming all the things that were on Fight Pass. It was the BJJ stuff. That who's Joe Rogan's best friends?
This is who? Eddie
Eddie
Bravo.
Eddie Bravo. Yeah, the Quintex. They had the Quintex on Fight Pass, which was the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu
Oh
tournaments
man,
that are
I
going on.
just never watched Fight Pass before.
I mean, of
Yes,
course not.
I should be
They had
watching it
some.
right now, man.
They had some kickboxing stuff going on, and then they had something with Roy Jones as far as boxing is concerned. Because at the heart, Dana White is a boxing fan. Dana White is a hardcore, like probably one of your pop or how you are a boxing fan. It's just
Yeah.
because he came from boxing essentially. Like he has a lot of boxing relationships.
Yeah, he has several boxing relationships, and good ones, to the point where he knows that Oscar De La Hoya himself is a horrible
Yeah,
promoter.
he know. Yeah, he knows that Oscar De La Hoya just put his name on it, and other people are probably managing it, and he gets his little allowance from it, and that's it.
He,
I say that because when you see him on ESPN, like the only reason why I believed what Dana was saying is because you see him on ESPN, they'll ask him valid questions like, "Well, this and this and that," and it's like you're not really saying anything, bro. So
well, here's the thing: he wasn't a mouthpiece when he was a fighter. So I
yeah.
mean,
He beat up Felix Trinidad. I didn't think anybody beat up Felix Trinidad back in the day.
Felix Trinidad didn't think anybody would beat up Felix Trinidad, but I mean, some days you run into Bernard Hopkins.
Some days you do run into Bernard Hopkins.
Yeah. Some days you run into Bernard Hopkins, just change your outlook on life. Like, yeah, we know what you had planned today, but yeah, we just gonna go ahead and hey, throw the baby in there too. Yeah, we
Oh
just gonna
man,
we just gonna rock with it that way. Um, here's
I
go
just
ahead.
realized I do not follow Master P on Instagram, and I'm going to correct that. I'm going to rectify that. I just
Wait,
wanted to let
man,
the fans know.
did you feel like getting a gym right now?
Doing a gym?
Getting a gym.
No, but I
If
just
he's gonna
I just feel like Master P is someone I should follow. And hopefully one day when we make it in this podcast world, I can like pick Master P's brain and learn how to like take no limit to where it needs to be in the clothing and digital space.
Bro, I still say No Limit all the time, man. I really like No Limit.
No limit is kind of like if you like Southern hip hop. No limit is like the niche, like caviar Southern hip hop. Like Cash Money is Cash Money, but you already know Cash Money's there. And Cash Money, early Cash Money, like Juvenile when they were wearing them chains and little chains
Yes. White
with this,
t-shirts.
yeah, with the chili peppers and shit all over it. Like when they were wearing those chains and the white t-shirts. You see, that is high. That is some good Southern hip hop as well. But like No Limit, like some Paul and Kane. I never heard Mercedes' album. I just saw the album cover, and I was a horny teenager, so I
Cain
saw
and
that.
Abel. Cain and
That's it.
Abel, Mr.
That,
Servon. He said Paul and Cain.
oh, Cain
You
and
know what I'm
Abel. I'm
saying?
sorry.
Yeah.
I am so
Cain and
sorry.
Abel, Mr. Servon, Fiend. You know what I'm
Fiend,
saying?
Mr. Cal,
Gosh,
everybody
man.
but your boy Silk the Shocker.
There's a lot
Like
of people that didn't
Silk
like
the
Silk the
Shocker
Shocker.
is the only rapper that I've heard now that is worse than rappers that I hear now.
But straight up though, man, I ain't gonna
Because you
lie to
think,
you. We were still clamoring for the Silk the Shocker. I remember we couldn't wait to get Silk the Shocker's album called Made Men. or Made Man. I really remember that because Silk the Shocker, even though he was the worst rapper, he was definitely putting out the best albums because they were basically compilations.
pretty much because he couldn't rap. The funny thing about Silk the Shocker is I didn't realize how much I thought Silk the Shocker was trash until that BT Silk the Shocker movie hit BT, and I watched
Hot
it, and
Boys.
it was Hot Boys. When he had the freestyle scenes, I was like, Jesus H Christ.
Hot
That was a
Boys,
that was
man.
that was a that was a Jeepers moment, like Jeepers,
I can't,
Jeepers.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you doing the Silk the Shocker right now, man.
Silk the Shocker was terrible, and has always been terrible.
I can't
I,
believe you
I
doing
hope
the Silk
Silk
the
the Shocker
Shocker.
never hears that because I think Silk the Shocker is the first of all that family seems like a real cool family, and Silk the Shocker seems like a real cool dude. And I really don't want to comment Silk the Shocker, but he was a terrible rapper, a
Wow.
terrible.
Some people gonna hate, man. Some people ain't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never hate
Players
Silk the
they're gonna
Shocker.
hate, and lovers they're gonna.
Wow.
I forgot how that song went. 3LW.
Wow.
I remember this song. I'm
I
really
don't know.
getting sick and tired of you promises.
Looking at your pages, seeing different numbers.
And I forgot the rest.
Call yourself a
Boy,
player when
I'm
you're with
not
the
the one.
fellas.
Say
Say
it
it again,
again.
say it
Just say it.
again.
Say it
Oh,
again.
no,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
tired of hearing, baby, I'ma do right. You do or you
Or you
don't.
don't. You
Bro, we gotta
will,
stop
or
right
you
now.
won't no
We're recording
more.
a podcast right now, and we just went all the way through the 3LW. Might as well finish it though, but we won't.
No, I think we did. I think we did enough. That's like I
We
think we
won't.
hit to the point where it was appropriate. Like we got as far as we could.
Bruh, we didn't get as far as we could because I know the whole song. I mean, word for word, bro. I remember that era right there. You promised that girl Kate Spade, but that was last year in the eighth grade. You ain't Biggie, baby boy. So no, it ain't one more chance.
Desires.
When your friends around, you don't want to hold my hand. Wow.
We will end on the sad note,
No,
and
we
I'm gonna
can't
say
end on a let's cover one more topic before we get to that sad note. Murder Mook. Um,
okay.
Murder Mook. We've been
So,
accidentally
guys,
avoiding this topic for about 2 or 3
well, let's put it to the fans. Let's
podcasts
explain
now.
it to the fans. So let's explain to the fans. So Murder Mook is a prevalent legend in the battle rap arena. So of course, typically speaking, what we normally do when we come to you and give you guys 2 shots to the body, we give you a shot of MMA, we give you a shot of boxing, and then we kind of mellow out with some current events, and then we might talk a little bit more about, of course, some battle
Scooby.
rap or anything hip hop because we love hip hop, and maybe we should have done a hip hop podcast, but there's 1,000 hip hop podcasts, and there's not a lot of mixed martial arts podcasts. So there we go. Anyways, so um, you know, Murder Mook, as we is a legend in the battle rap scene. Set the table, Renzo.
Well, Murder Mook, being the legend that he is, he was sitting in on an interview with several other people. One of those people being a personality or hip hop personality, model, video vixen. I don't know what you call them these days,
I don't know what she
but
does, but I mean,
just the
even people who do what you would categorize her as what she, even people who do what she does, don't know what she does. You know what I'm
well,
saying?
it's well, she's someone of I guess a relative note as far as the community is concerned.
She's a cultivator, a curator, a
Yeah,
curator of the culture,
yeah, she's a curator of the culture. Well,
which
uh,
sometimes means no offense to women, but a cute chick who people like to be around.
yeah, well, that's who she is. Well, she got caught up in a few situations, and one of the situations she was caught up in was her use of the word nigger in promotion of a T-shirt, and not only that, a lot of the things that she's said in the past via social media have felt very anti-black woman and anti-black and things of that nature. She was called onto the carpet for it by many a people, and Murder Mook,
By the black populace,
yeah, by the black populace, black Twitter, and all that good stuff. And it seemed as
which is a
if
living, breathing organism.
it really is, it really is. It's almost like the chicken from that little that restaurant that was down from A&M, not a restaurant but gas station. Wow, the hop in chicken. Wow. Anyway, make a long story short, um, Murder Mook basically caped for this young woman, even though she was clearly wrong in all of her in all of her intentions.
Well, this is what I'll say about it, right? And this is why this is relevant because we talk about battle rap and we love battle rap. Battle rap has always been predominantly an African American sport. An African American sport. And to be a legend in battle rap is almost to be a legend. Like, this is the thing
It's the
about battle
same, the
rap,
same, like it's the same as street ball.
basically. It's honestly, that is 100% accurate, Renzo. I'm glad you said it. It's like being a legend in street ball, right? You didn't make it to the NBA, but you're a legend in all neighborhoods. Everybody knows who you are, and it's kind of like what makes one of the things that make on top of those championships, on top of what he did in the NBA, what makes Dr. J, such an amazing figure is because of, or the Earl Manigaults.
Yeah,
That's what that
we
is
can go back
what
to the ruck and still play.
yeah, that is what Murder Mook is supposed to be. And the thing about it is this, right? What the young lady has done things that, she's basically guilty of being insensitive and almost trolling to the black populace. Now, this is the thing. In battle rap is essentially has always been controlled by the black audience. It just is what it is. King the Dot, which is I think it's which is ran by two, I think, Canadian gentlemen, two Canadian gentlemen. I think Organic and the other person, I forgot the other person's name. But King of the Dot is basically primarily, even though it's ran by those two, it's always essentially been not as popular as say URL, which promotes and usually promotes and caters to a very black audience. Just like I think Rare Breed. I think if they get a couple more solid cards, I think Rare Breed might might be able to surpass KOD because I don't really see anybody on KOD to be very honest with you. And by KOD I mean King of the Dot. So now you have that, and then all of a sudden you got Loaded Lux, not Loaded Lux, Murder Mook. We're gonna come back to the Loaded Lux point, but you got Murder Mook over here. It's not the fact that he was trying to understand or understanding points that clearly were not understandable or like keeping. It's the fact that for me, and I won't let you talk because I kind of ran on a little rant, but it's the fact that the energy, the effort that was put into caping for this young lady. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, it was a lot of senseless caping in that situation. Um, Another thing
And
I would liken it to
and it didn't
is
even seem like the young lady really even wanted him to do all that. Like she felt uncomfortable about it.
well,
Even
she
the white dude in the room, felt uncomfortable about it. Like he was kind of like, okay. I don't think she's, I don't think she's Spanish. I don't think she's Spanish.
she could read the room. She had a feeling as to why he was caping the way he was caping. I mean,
Or why do you think he was caping?
because he was looking for an opportunity. You know what I'm
Opportunity to do
saying?
what?
First of all, when's the last time we had a conversation about Murder Mook?
Mm, trying to get on that podcast thing, huh?
I mean,
I'm trying to catch up to Joe Budden and them, Brilliant Idiots and them,
I ain't
Joe
saying he trying
Rogan
to.
and them.
I ain't trying to say he catching up to nobody. The man is a hustler, as a rapper. You gonna just try to get the bag where the bag goes.
Mm.
And
Well,
right now, okay, there's
this
a podcasting bag to be had if you got an opinion and a little bit of a following, I guess.
but this is the thing I have. Regardless on if you think he should have done it or not, it's neither here or there. Who cares? The question I have for you is, how do you think is this gonna affect his battle rap career? Would you, in my personal opinion, I feel that he can't go back.
I just don't feel that Murder Mook is important enough to matter.
In battle rap or in life in general?
I wouldn't say in battle rap because he's Murder Mook, but I'd say how the
Because
culture moves.
I'm merely talking about battle rap. As far as the culture is concerned, as far as as far as his as far as what he did in reference to African Americans and what would someone would call the African American struggle, I don't think it makes a lick of
I
difference.
mean, there's no market for a Charles Barkley in a battle rap per se, but we haven't really been checking for Mook for his lyrics. I mean, the cipher that he did for BET, that was what, 3, 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think at this point it's like an old basketball player saying some old. It's like Jerry Rice talking about all lives matter. All right, Jerry Rice, it's nothing we can really do to you now because you're not that relevant. We'll just say that Randy Moss is better than you. We'll just say that, yeah, perhaps Sirius Jones did thump that ass, or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. You know, things that don't really matter.
mm,
Because I mean, at the end of the day, Murder Mook doesn't do anything to drive a culture. Like it, like wasting your. You really have to hate. Yes, Jules, and what happens to black women to a different kind of level to really counsel Murder Mook, and I don't believe we live in that environment to where Murder Mook is that important. because it's not really doing anything.
Well, no. So this is the thing. Like, if I cancel Murder Mook, I'm not. The whole cancel thing. I'm not even whatever. I'm not even going in that direction. My thought process is he can't go to battle rap because he is fodder now. Like, who's he gonna match up against? He
But
can't battle Lux after that. He's done.
and that's the question I'm asking. Hey, bro, who Murder Mook been battling recently?
He battled a Big Gerald. You know who a Big Gerald is.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
uh, yeah,
St. Louis, St. Louis
St.
dude.
Louis. Uh, boy, we're gonna have to go to the Google on this one. Sorry, sorry, fans. We're gonna have to go to the Googles.
Yeah, man, you gotta go to Google when you talking about Meek Mill rapping. If you gotta go to the Googles to see who Meek Mill rapped against, then Meek Mill ain't important. You ain't important, Meek Mill. We don't remember your last 3 fights, bro. You ain't
Wow.
Earl. You ain't Earl Spence, Murder Mook.
This is really bothering me, and I don't know if I'll be able to continue on with this podcast if I can't figure out who is a verb. There you go. He beat a verb.
He beat Aver.
Or no, a verb beat him actually.
Well, how about that, man? Duke's not gonna win the national championship. We happy about that?
Uh, I'm a little salty
Why are you salty? Duke's
because
not gonna win the championship.
I thought Duke was, and
Like, come on, man. The team that the team with all the superstars rarely ever wins the national championship in college basketball. You know why?
why?
Because it's
Why,
not
sir?
player driven.
It's
The
team
NCAA is
driven.
not player driven at all. You can't just let these little homies just do these ISOs and just be better than the other players. These coaches need to run these sets to show that they're important.
Well, fair enough. I mean, they give them bonuses for how far they make it. So,
I mean, name one Michigan State Spartan besides Tom Izzo.
uh,
Absolutely. And they just beat Michigan. I mean, they just beat Duke.
oh yeah, I mean, I'm not, but I'm a bad person to do that with because I didn't really pay attention to the tournament like that.
But you know who Zion Williamson is.
Of course, he's
I
because
know you've heard the RJ Barrett name.
yeah.
Yeah, so you haven't heard of anybody's name from Michigan State. And if you did, this man probably a 17th year senior. Michigan State is one of those teams that still got players on their team on their roster with a year eligibility from the 90s, man. It's
Did you
just
know that
ingrained.
Clarissa Shields sparred with Earl Spence?
Yes, I did, bro. She a fighter, bro. She a fighter, bro. Did you see her and Cyborg spar?
Yeah, I did. The MMA community was really trying their hardest to like make it seem like um I mean Cyborg was she was never really hanging with her, but Cyborg
Yeah.
didn't look trash,
Well, first of all, there was no defense. They were just throwing punches.
basically. Well, I mean that's kinda how Carissa fights anyways. She kinda
Yeah,
moves. She doesn't
that's
really
how
use defense for real. She more so just uses she just kinda moves and then throws hands.
that's
And
how
she
she
throws hands at a
fights.
rapid pace.
That's how she fights some chicks that can't fight. She ain't gonna be able to fight
Hammer that way.
Hammer that way. She's definitely not gonna be able to fight MC that way. Hammer coming for him.
Mm.
Better run. No, I'm kidding.
Run for it, bump for
But
it,
she gonna
run.
what I see her pressing Hammer. Hammer has trouble fighting on the inside, especially
Mm-hmm.
with Clarissa being a shorter fighter. She gets on the inside, she can definitely do a lot of work keeping the pressure on. Hammer's gonna have to extend and use that jab to keep her at bay.
Hmm.
But we shall see. But yeah, she did spar with the Earl Spence, which I mean, Clarissa's a fighter, bro. She's from Flint, Michigan.
She
A
from that Flint.
two-time Olympic gold medalist, man.
Well, Well, yeah. So back to Mook, the Mookster. Well, the reason why I think this is worthy of bringing up on the podcast, and we discussed this in pre-production, is the fact that um, when you think about it, Mook pretty much. You may have a valid point, or you might you do have a valid point that Mook is probably already pretty much retired from battle rap. But if Mook ever were to decide to go back to battle rap,
Yeah,
boy,
they gonna send his ass down memory lane.
boy, boy.
But but to your point, he can't go up there against a loaded Lux,
Oh, of course not. Not
especially if loaded
beloved.
Lux.
Not beloved.
Not if Lux come with the black on black on black.
Oh, beloved. Beloved. If he comes with the beloved, it's over. It's just over.
Oh,
So
I mean, I think at this point he would have trouble with the slow it down. I just dissed you, which is I like
he's
I like that. I like that style.
yeah, he might be done. In my personal opinion, like he might be cashed out. Well, I hope the media thing works for
Yeah, man, and as it should, as it
him.
should.
Well, all right, so I guess we can move on to sad news and close.
Yeah. Well, the sad news is right before we started the show to date the show, um, found out that rapper and entrepreneur Nipsey Hussle was shot 6 times, and it was reported that it's been reported dead. Um, really fuck with Nipsey Hussle's music, his documentary, his movement in general. I hate to call it a movement with the things he had going on with putting a store, right there in his neighborhood, or keeping that store right there in his neighborhood, and all that good stuff. Um,
Yeah,
uh, it was a good dude as far as all that stuff is concerned, man.
yeah. I mean, what I'll say about that is, of course, praise and condolences goes to the family, and of course, to the family that of course, has to survive this aftermath. That's definitely unfortunate. Nipsey definitely seemed like an individual who was very much so conscious about sowing into his community that he came from, which kind of almost adds further insult to the fact that this heinous act kind of happened in front of one of his buildings, or one of his businesses that probably was in the neighborhood. I'm not sure where the story is, but yeah, it's just rough. It's rough to see that. I mean, it seems like this is almost kind of starting to be the theme of you know kind of hip hop, what's going on. So it's definitely a very sad situation, a very sad moment, in hip hop, and yeah, definitely, definitely.
Mhm. It's definitely unfortunate,
Especially if
man.
you think about where he was at in his career, where he just got to a point where,
Nominated for a Grammy, showed up.
yeah, what I'm saying? He just got to the point where people were just starting to listen. And for those who are not very acclimated to Nipsey Hussle, who he was, just, I mean, he was independent artist, grinded his his music, and got to the point where it's like after like several years, people are just starting to listen to the vision, and all of a sudden, right when you're at that point, you get taken out. That's crazy. Details haven't necessarily been put. I think they say the shooter's still at large, but prayers and condolences.
Yeah, man. So more unnecessary things to think about and live through, man. But shout out to him, his family, his brothers, fathers, children, the children related to him, all that good stuff, man. Just man,
It was
damn,
rough.
another one too soon,
Too soon. Too soon.
too soon, man. But hey, man, that's about all we have for the people, man.
We went
I
two
like
to the
the
body.
yeah, man. Two to the body. They had two to the stomach just now, man. They don't want no more.
Oh shit.
I said throwing the damn towel. That's what I keep hearing from the corner.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
The
Throwing the towel in.
towel thrown in, man. You got anything you would like to say to the people before we cut out this thing, man?
Um, well, we'll say something while I make my music suggestions for the podcast.
Well, we talked about some upcoming fights or whatnot, and in boxing and MMA, what's next for Earl Spence, and we talked about the Robbie Lawler, Tyron Woodley. Um, the Wilder rematch with Tyson Fury has been postponed. Wilder is going to be fighting a guy named Dominic Brazil. They have some history. There was an incident in Birmingham, Alabama, with both of them during one of Deontay Wilder's fights. So should be an interesting fight. I know we talked offline about Dominic Brazil, and you call him that light skinned dude. And it
The
seems
license
like
man.
he's getting a lot of stuff like that. He's getting the El DeBarge treatment. He's he's getting all kind of just the all kinds of things like that. I do believe he was a college football player. I think he played quarterback
Hmm.
somewhere like that, and he's a
Hmm.
pretty good fighter. But he's fought Anthony Joshua and lost, and I do believe that he's gonna go ahead and lose to Deontay Wilder as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, most likely that is the case. Um, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess these are just placeholders for the fights that we gonna see. Wilder, Fury 2, Wilder, Joshua 2. Seems like
I
all
need to
signs
see.
point to
Yeah.
Wilder. All roads point to Wilder. So
Yeah.
that's
I
what I
need to
want to
see
see.
that. I need to see that Joshua Ortiz, man. I need to see that.
Yep, yep, yep.
I
So as
need to
far
see
as my
that.
suggestions are concerned, I don't really have any albums, but I will say that if you're looking for a 2008 feel song, nice sample, nice soul sample with some good lyrics on on the old Kanye vibes, I suggest you check out Mr. All of That Shit. That's Mr. ALLADATSHIT, all one word, by Kids in the Hall. Also has Donis on there. I don't know if you remember Donis, but
Wow.
Donis Donis is on there, and Chip the Rip is on there as well. So that's a good song. I think you guys should check it out. Kari Fo is a new artist that I'm kind of like checking out. I think I like some of her stuff. She has a song, "Gotta Know," which so far is my personal one of my personal favorites that I'm listening to right now. And yeah, I think that's what I got. Two Chainz's albums um,
I
have
still
mixed
haven't listened to it
reviews.
yet.
Yeah.
Not in the
Um,
full.
then the full. I was very surprised that I actually listened to the whole Future album. It's very good background music for when you're doing stuff. If you need to be active, Future's album, The Wizard, is good. I think I said that two podcasts ago, but whatever. Threat to Society by Two Chainz off the Rap or Go to the League album. That is dope sample, and I really like Two Chainz on sample beats. So just want to toss that out there. Two Chainz on sample beats are not that bad, so I kind of rock with it. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably why he rocks with Kanye.
Probably so. And then I think that is all I have for the. Yeah, that's all I have.
Well, that's what's up, man. I got a lot to listen to. Missed all of that shit being one of those things.
Missed all that shit. Definitely good vibes. All right. Other than that, that's back when you could listen to Kanye and not feel guilty.
Oh yeah, now because I definitely feel guilty. I be
I don't think Kanye produced that sample, but I mean, it just definitely has I think if you understand what that sound sounds like, it has that college dropout, sampled sound. You know what I'm saying? From a drug
Yeah.
dealer, stack your money till you get sky high. That vibe. Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I got. For the folks, I think maybe we could put a playlist together and maybe well, I don't know how we get it off all how we get it on all DSPs, seeing as Spotify ain't cut the check yet. Spotify ain't cut the
We
check
wait.
yet.
We waiting on
Spotify.
Spotify. The check to be cut. To grab some scissors.
We can make playlists too. Joe Budden and them ain't the only ones that can make playlists. We can make playlists too.
Yeah, man. They be over there on title anyway, bro.
I'm my man Renzo could put together the dopest down south, dirty south playlist you ever heard. But that's
Ever
not either
did
here.
heard. Just ever did heard in your life. You heard me. We can do it by states. You heard me.
You
I
heard me.
just gotta keep saying you heard me.
You
Playboy.
understand?
You
I think you
understand?
understand.
Yeah, you under dig me.
Oh, and that just I think it's just a gangster. Whatever song is that?
Just another gangster.
Just another gangster. That
Yeah,
song actually was surprisingly good.
told you. Hey, check out back then. Also, and it's another one. I think it. Man, it has one of the young rappers in it that I don't like, but Juvenile is making good music, man, and helping Birdman out at the same time.
Is 400 Degrees a classic album?
To me, absolutely.
Is it a universal classic album?
To the world, absolutely not.
I disagree. I think
Oh
you'd be very
man,
surprised. I think you'd be very surprised how many people actually view that as high
well,
as you do.
pleasant would that surprise be? But I saw the Juvenile Breakfast Club interview in which he talked about how people in the South didn't really like the whole Jay
Huh?
Z remix.
No. People in the South hated it. People on our campus hated it. I remember being on A&M's campus in Alabama and having to debate and defend Jay Z on that. And the explanation that Juvenile gave was BS.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with Tupac. It was just a civil war going on, and if you know, you know.
Hold on, you said that that explanation that Juvenile gave about Tupac was BS?
Yeah, BS.
No,
I
no,
mean, it's
no,
not
no,
BS.
no, 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 no. I'm gonna speak on. I'm gonna speak on that on as far as being a Southerner, bro. Jay Z was not well received around here. There was the South chose Tupac because the New York didn't fuck with the South at all. You feel me?
Mhm.
So the South basically chose Tupac, and I to this day I remember people that don't like Jay Z and a lot of Nas because these are actual names that Tupac said. Like it's weird that way, but a lot of people did make some choices.
I thought it was based upon the fact that it was just rap supremacy, and East Coast has always essentially ignored the South.
Yeah, I mean part of that is in there, but it's still a great album nonetheless, man. And Juvenile definitely one of the best to ever do it as far as being himself throughout the whole cycle.
Oh. Well, yeah, you're right. And now we get to hear similar, get that similar energy again. It looks like they're doing the whole album.
Yeah, they are. They're doing the whole album. I got that from the interview. The album's done. It'll be released soon. but they're doing a whole album. He asked if he wanted to do a solo album first. He was like, "Nah, let's do a let's get together album." Like he wanted to do a mixtape first,
Mm-hmm.
but then they
They
was
made
like,
so many
"Nah,
songs.
we made so many songs. Let's go ahead and throw this album out there, and then
Yeah.
you come with your solo thing later on." But Manny Fresh isn't on any of the projects on the compilation, the Buddy album with Baby. But
Mm-hmm.
Manny Fresh is definitely on the
On Juvenile album.
on Juvenile's album.
You understand?
I ain't no, you understand? I'm a rapper, but I'm still a gorilla. I whip you like a Thriller Manila. Y'all gonna maybe have to kill me.
Well,
Look,
yeah.
I'm gonna be here for a minute, look Woody.
You
Ain't nobody
understand?
let nobody missold me. We can go in there and blow
Missold
the
me?
pace up. As soon as we get, we can all get a cut.
Missold me?
That's it, man.
Okay.
Well,
All
shout
right,
out,
cool.
man. So yeah, we were supposed to sign off a long time ago, man. But I guess we'll end on a positive note. The Final Four is actually set. You got Texas Tech, Virginia. I don't know the other guys.
Texas Tech, Virginia,
Michigan State and Auburn.
Michigan State, yeah, and Auburn.
Well, that
Who'd have
sounds
thunk
weird.
Auburn and the Final Four? I think that's like the first time, right?
Texas Tech, Auburn. Yeah, it's definitely first time for Auburn. Like Charles Barkley somewhere wilding out.
Yeah. He didn't show up the game like Magic, like
Yeah,
Irvin
that's true.
Johnson. Like Irvin Johnson. He probably thought they were gonna lose.
Oh man. Well, he was in studio for the game.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he was actually working.
The studio. But anyways, I guess if you want to go ahead and sign off.
Well, yeah. Well, before we keep going, man, because there's so many things to discuss. But thank you guys for listening once again to this episode of Two to the Body. Remember, you can always subscribe via Spreaker, subscribe via Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Podcast. Remember, those of you on iPhones, you go to iTunes to the podcast thing. Make sure you go ahead and rate the show. That definitely help with the visibility of it. If you like the show yourself and want to share it with your friends, man, you get it how you live and you do that. If you want to hit us up, you hit us up. You know how to get with us, man. One way
You didn't know how to get with
Twitter.
us?
I mean, I'm saying one way Renzo on Twitter. That's what I go by. What you got any social media you like to give out there, guy?
Return to Fresh. Return
Fresh.
of Fresh 86.
Yeah, not the Mac. Just Return to Fresh 86, man. You can find it. Where does this lead us?
Instagram.
Instagram. So we have a Twitter link. We have an Instagram link, man. Hopefully you guys go ahead and link us up so we can do this more often, man. Mark, you got anything left to say before we get out of here?
Nothing.
All right, man.
See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kickin online. That's ASHKICKIN. www.ashkickin.com. Ash Kickin body butter, hair moisturizer, African black soap, scented candles, incense sticks, and more. Priced right just for you. All natural and handcrafted. Get your Ash Kickin products today. Visit www.ashkickin.com.